Hello everybody, my name is Ruffleg and this is the first episode of Little Buck Big Bang, the show where we get you the biggest bang for your littlest buck. On this episode, we are not actually going to be showcasing you a game, but instead we'll be looking into the game genre of tappers. In this video, we will be looking over the basic mechanics, what you need to look for, and the typical business model behind games of this genre. The concept of tappers comes from the PC counterpart of clickers, which gained their popularity from games like Cookie Clicker and Cow Clicker. The simplicity allowed many people to form an addiction to these kinds of games that became overnight sensations. Since the advent of the clicker, hundreds of developers have stuck their own hands into the cookie jar due to the simplicity and ease of attaching this genre to almost any theme or series. If you are unfamiliar with these types of games, the main mechanic is simply as the genre states. All you do is click. Or in our case, tap. In a tapper, you tap the screen repeatedly to accomplish a task such as baking a leaning tower of cookies, defeating a fabled foe, or simply putting one foot in front of the other. Most tappers are separated into levels and then even further into stages. Generally, there are about 10 stages in a level, where the player is required to reach a certain goal, in example, bake 1,000 cookies. Upon completion, you are given some currency and moved on to the next stage. Once the 10 stages are completed, you will then be put up against a boss. The boss stage is merely a challenge stage, where you are required to complete the goal within a certain amount of time. Once completed, you will then move on to the next level and receive an even larger sum of currency for completing the boss. As more and more stages are completed, the requirements for completing a stage are often exponentially increased. Now, instead of forcing you to simply tap in exponential amounts of quantities to a point where no human could physically do so, tappers decide to burst that bubble well before you have to outsource to a robot. There are two main upgrades that are commonly used among games in this genre. The first is that of increasing tapping power. The second is that of automatically pushing you towards your goal. This second type of upgrade is often referred to as helpers. On top of this, many of the games sport different abilities that help you along the way. These abilities range anywhere from tapping automatically for you for a short period of time to showering you in currency every time you tap the screen. These abilities often have a cooldown in which you can use them, anything ranging from 60 seconds to even several hours. You can usually upgrade these abilities using the in-game currency as well. There are, however, some tappers that choose to break the mold in their own unique way and add a spin to this. An example, an ability could be upgraded through some sort of goal instead of a set price. All of this is up to the designers, although most tappers tend to follow the mold set in place by their predecessors. Helpers tend to also have passive abilities that help you get to your goal even faster. These abilities tend to be unlocked as you level up the helpers. These are often unique and percentage-based passives that can really help compared to the linear upgrades that you would normally receive. The cost of upgrading, however, increases exponentially, not linearly, as the game progresses, which can make things get exponentially harder to progress, to a point where it will be impossible for you to earn enough currency and to progress further throughout the game, without spending days or weeks to even get one upgrade. There are, however, other types of upgrades that help you with this impossible climb. The main system in place is what's known as a prestige system. After reaching a predetermined level, a tapper will allow you to start from level 0 and carry over what are known as prestige upgrades. This is the main mechanic of progressing forward in the game. This is also where the cruel mistress of RNG rears her ugly head. Upon prestiging, you are rewarded with a separate kind of currency from the normal type of currency that can only be achieved through this method. This kind of currency is then used for special kinds of permanent upgrades. These upgrades exponentially increase the tap power, the helper power, or sometimes provide a unique ability, such as reducing the amount of stages required to complete a level. These too can also be upgraded using the prestige currency. These upgrades can also be replaced, although it usually costs real money to do so. Tappers also have a feature where the helpers will work while you're not playing the game, often accumulating large sums of money while you continue about your day. These types of playstyles allowed these games to flourish in a mobile market that is often focused on plenty of small bursts of gameplay. When looking for a good tapper to play, one of the key points that should be paid attention to is just how effective these prestige upgrades can be. With so many different moving parts behind the scenes, it only takes a very small tweak to turn the game from too easy to being impossible to progress without actually spending money. Often developers will be constantly adjusting these numbers behind the scenes to make the game more engaging and make it not too quick to rush through to the end. After all, at the end of the day, the developers are looking to earn a living as well. However, the most important aspect when choosing which tapper you actually want to play is, well, the theme which they present. Since the formula for tappers are often so similar, it almost doesn't matter which one is played. And without the theme and style, they often would be the exact same game. Because of this, many of the different tappers often have very unique and interesting themes, and there's a tapper for almost every kind of style, ranging from Wild West to space adventures. So in the end, the tapper that you choose doesn't really matter at all, so much as you enjoy the theme and style of the game. There is, of course, always exceptions to the formula. Even though tappers follow the same core principles, there are often small variations to each one. How many levels does it take to prestige? How long before you are forced to prestige because the boss keeps defeating you? How many monsters can you slay before it's impossible to keep going? How quickly can you catch up to where you were? And does it feel like progression is made after each prestige? These are often the major things that vary in mechanics between each tapper. On top of this, a game can sometimes throw a wrench into the formula to change the basic mechanics completely. However, keep tapping as the main form of progression throughout the game. As tappers are commonly free to play due to their simplicity, the business model often follows a microtransaction scheme. These microtransactions allow a purchase of a third kind of currency that allows the player to buy alternate items or buffs that cannot be purchased through the normal forms of currency. In most cases, this currency can be earned in-game as well, usually through watching ads, completing certain objectives like beating 100 levels, or in small amounts just by playing the game. This last option usually involves a random gift that flies across the top of the screen for a small period of time while in-game. If this gift is tapped before time runs out, you will often be rewarded with some normal currency, some pay-for currency, or sometimes a larger sum of either one in exchange for watching an ad. The items and buffs that are accessed through this currency often involve a one-time increase in an ability's time, or skipping some in-game time, gaining a buff in a stat for a longer period of time, and on rare occasions a permanent buff to certain stats, such as earning 2 times money forever. These paid-for bonuses are rarely ever required to truly advance in a tapper. However, they are there for people who have the money but not the time to progress in such a game. Tappers are very simplistic games that are often monotonous and require minimum amount of skill to play. Yet, these games are some of the most common and most popular games in the mobile game store. This all comes down to several reasons. Number one, they are very quick and easy to simply open up for 5 minutes while you're sitting at a bus stop or something like that and just play for a couple of minutes and then put away as you continue about your day. Number two, because of the simplicity and rigid structure that is used time and time again, they are very easy to pick up and move between them. It is also very easy to figure out if you want to play this game for an extended period of time, or if it's simply you're going to only play for today. Tappers are also very rewarding, with the constant progression rewards achieved through the prestige system. Tappers have found great success in the mobile games market, and are definitely worth checking out for those looking to play an easy, free game, and small amounts of spare time that they have within their busy schedules. Thank you all so much for watching this first episode. Go ahead and leave a like below, or even a comment about what you thought of this video, how it can be improved, or just what you think about tappers. You all have a great day, and next week I will be showcasing you a great tapper that I found just recently.